Once again, welcome to Medicwise TV this Saturday afternoon. We are privileged to bring you your show, Medicwise TV show, Dida the X-Ray Man show. I'm your host, Didakus Mochache, aka Dida the X-Ray Man. Today, we have taken it a notch higher. And in the studio, we have a special guest, clinical counseling psychologist by the name Faith Cheptoo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Faith, straight to the discussion. Please, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
My name is Faith Cheptoo. Faith is a counseling psychologist by profession. Faith joined the field in 2018. I do addiction counseling, or rather I've worked with people struggling with addiction for some time. I've worked with people struggling with mental challenges for some time.
Yes.
And I've worked with people struggling with life for some time. What happens is when people are young, ideally they have their life figured out. But unfortunately, that is not how life is. There is what life gives, and there is what you plan. So basically, we plan to strive a balance between the two. There is what you want for your life, and there is what life has given you. So how do we strike a balance between the two? Yes.
Wow. So you are, by profession, we call you psychologist.
Yes, I am.
Tell people what is this profession. It is not obvious. People understand what it entails to be in this profession.
Wow, a very interesting one. Who is a psychologist? A psychologist is someone who works with a patient, or rather, we call this a helping relationship.
Yes.
What we do in counseling or in psychology is we help patients be productive members of the society after some periods of unfunctionality or dysfunctionality.
Yes.
For example, you lose your mother. It's so obvious that life will not be the same. So what is the role of a psychologist? I'll take you through the grieving process. Yes. That is, in a nutshell, that is what we do. Or rather you are going a mental challenge and you don't quite understand what is happening to you. What is the role of a psychologist? I'll take you through what is called insight-oriented therapy. Basically for you to understand what is happening around you. And again, one thing will allow me to highlight about a psychologist, this is someone who is interested in how you think, how you feel, and how you behave.
How you think, how you feel, and how you behave.
Yes.
So this is the core things you focus on as a psychologist on the personality of someone.
Yes, that is what.
Take us through day to day, because you work in Peponi Wellness Center?
Yes.
Peponi Mental Health Center. What is the name of your working?
I currently work with Peponi Wellness Center. Most people know it as Oasis Mental Hospital. We recently rebranded, but basically we are Oasis Mental Hospital.
So take us day to day, how do you start your day as a psychologist? Day to day, what do you do?
At my workplace,
yes,
I'll talk of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
There are things that I'm about to highlight there. In counseling, we do what is called individual sessions.
Yes,
when
yes.
I talk of individual sessions, it is me and Didakus having a conversation.
Okay.
But again, there is what is called group sessions. Yeah. What we do on Monday, on Wednesday, and on Friday. On Monday, we pick a topic related to mental health and we discuss with our patients in a very safe environment. And each and every patient has a right to air out their views.
Yes,
On
yes.
Wednesday, we do what is called a support group. When you talk about support group, we basically, with Peponi Wellness, we also help patients who go through addiction. So what we do is we invite someone who was addicted to something before to come and give a talk to our patients. And allow me to highlight something on the same.
Yes.
We only don't talk about substance addiction.
Okay.
We also talk about behavioral addiction. When I talk of behavioral addiction, we have gambling.
Gambling.
We have internet addiction.
Gambling, internet.
Yes. We also have pornography addiction, which most people don't talk about. So when you come to Peponi Wellness, those are the things that we talk about.
Tell us more about the internet addiction, maybe. Let's begin there. What is this? And how have you handled cases to do with internet addiction?
Yes, I have. I said initially that I've worked with people struggling with addiction.
Yes.
So in a nutshell, something becomes an addiction when you can't control it anymore, when it's out of your control. For example, there are two different people here. There is Didakus,
yes,
and there is Faith. Both of us might decide to go to a club and have a drink. Yeah. Didakus, you'll take a glass and you'll say, I'm okay, and you go home. I'll take a glass and I'd want to take more. You understand?
Yes.
So the difference between Didakus and Faith is, as far as Faith wants to stop, she doesn't know when to stop. Didakus at least is able to control.
It's
Didakus,
disciplined.
Yeah,
he
disciplined,
can,
yes.
He can say, I will take 2 cups or 2 bottles, and to me it is done for the day.
Yes.
That is discipline. And now for the other person who doesn't have discipline, it means can continue and continue.
Didakus, you'll allow me to say that it's not about discipline, it is basically about loss of control.
Okay.
You'll allow me to highlight something about addiction, which most people don't know. By the way, no one goes to the club with the aim of drinking the whole crates of alcohol.
Yes.
What happens is, with addiction, there is what is called high tolerance to achieve the highness.
Yes.
So it's about the tolerance. And again, as I said initially, addiction is basically wanting to stop, but you don't know how.
How to stop.
Yes.
Okay.
And one thing also to tell you that probably you're addicted to something is, you continue doing that particular thing even if it's affecting your life negatively.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, bring us to speed about internet addiction. What happens here?
I gave a brief introduction of addiction. What is internet addiction? In this case is inability to stop using internet even if there are negative consequences involved.
Okay.
Take for example, you are supposed to be at work right now. Didakus, yeah. But what is internet addiction? Instead of coming to work,
yes,
you are stuck browsing.
Oh, you are busy browsing. I see.
Nothing related to
the work.
So that is
is
what addiction
addiction
is all about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gambling has become also very prevalent in the modern world.
Yes.
People of age are involved in gambling, and people have lost a lot of money in gambling, I understand.
Yes.
So it affects. So when you find someone who is been deep down into gambling, you as a psychologist, how do you help?
Now, we look at, a psychologist also, by the way, looks at motivation behind behavior. So the first thing is, what is the reason behind behavior?
The behavior.
Why is this person gambling? Probably, there was a time this person used 50 shillings, he or she placed a bet, and she got 5,000.
Yes,
that is motivating factor, right? But, I mean, it reaches a point where, instead of using 50 shillings to find food, you use 50 shillings to gamble. So what is the motivation behind behavior? You will realize that this person is chasing, unconsciously
profit,
chasing profit.
Yes.
But you see, when it's an addiction, it's totally a different thing.
thing.
So we look at what are other options that we can use for you to get money. If you're chasing, chasing money.
Profit.
But again, it reaches an extent that we get to get rid of the primary trigger. Take for example, there are people who can't stay with 2,000 in their phones. Not even 2,000, 1,000 bob. Every time they just receive an M-Pesa message, received. What rings to their mind? What rings in their mind?
Spending.
Yeah. So it reaches a point where now we have to look at the trigger. And I mean, there are instances where we now have to look for an accountability partner, even with bank accounts.
So how does gambling become a mental health issue now?
It becomes a mental health issue because remember, gambling, Didakus, there is something I really want us to get right there.
Yes. Addiction.
addiction. Because again, now, there are people who gamble, but they are able to function. Sawa. There are people who take alcohol, but they are able to do what?
To
function,
control it.
To control it. Yeah.
So when it becomes a mental issue when you can't control it?
Yes, when you can't control it.
Okay.
And how does it become a mental issue, Dakus? You earn a salary of 50,000, for example.
Yes.
I mean, there are expenses there, but what does their gambling addiction look like? You take 45,000 and you gamble with it.
Yes. You finish the money. So you have no control. So it becomes a mental health issue.
It even leads you to depression.
You know, I've been thinking mental health issues have something to do with madness or something to do with not listening properly. What is your perspective on this?
You'll allow me to call what you are saying myths.
Okay.
Yeah. Myths are unfounded facts. Unfounded beliefs and founded
myths.
Beliefs.
Yes, myths.
Those are just myths. And there are different myths. You are not wrong, Dakus. And that is why we are here to share this information today.
Okay.
Yeah, about mental what? About mental health. I have heard you say that mental health or mental illness is about you've told us it's about being mad. Imagine it's not being mad. I mean, actually using the word mad for someone who's going through mental health issue is stigma on its own.
Wow.
So there are different myths when it comes to mental health. Maybe you just allow me to go through it briefly. What are the myths about mental health?
Yes, you can take us through.
I can take you through myths about me. Now, one, people believe that mental health issues affect men more than women.
And women.
Mental health issues affect everyone, including, by the way, children.
Kids.
Including kids. As young as 3 years.
There
are mental conditions which are able to be detected in kids when they are as young as 3 years. There is a condition called ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Yes, that mental condition is not actually diagnosed in adulthood.
It is in kids.
It is in children. But again, if it remains untreated in children, it becomes when as an adult now you come to the hospital and we screen you, we'll realize that you have ADHD. But where does it stem from? Childhood. Yeah. So allow me to say that mental health issues affect everyone, regardless of the age, regardless of the gender, regardless of the status. It affects everyone. Mi usema haibagui. Yeah, that is one myth. Allow me to take us through. I feel like talking about this.
Go ahead.
About mental health. People say that people experience mental challenges because they've used drugs. Imagine it's not necessarily so. Yeah, mental challenges can be as a result of different things. Take for example, you lose your loved one, or for example, there are changes in brain chemistry, or just chemical imbalances.
Okay.
Of course, you'll get a mental condition, and by the way, it can be passed from generation to generation. Okay. So when you see someone struggling with mental health issue, it doesn't mean necessarily that they are using what? That they are using
drugs or something like that.
And another one, you'll allow me also to say that some people with mental health issues don't know that they have mental health issues. Yeah? Take for example, in mental disorders, there is what is called delusions. Delusions are basically false beliefs.
Yes.
Yeah? And remember, for someone who is going through mental health, sometimes that is their world. They don't quite understand what is happening.
Okay.
So a patient will come to you and tell you, Faith, you know what? I'm the President of the Republic of Kenya.
That is delusion.
Okay, you know the President of the Republic.
Yes. But
I mean, in their world,
they believe, and they know, they have conviction that they are the president
of the Republic of Kenya. So, what is the role of the psychologist in this case? Is when I do the insight-oriented therapy, because again, this patient could be suffering from mental condition which needs medication first.
What is good? Let me cut you short.
Okay.
What is the role of depression in mental health issues?
The role of depression in mental health issues?
Yes.
Depression is a mental health issue on its own.
On itself?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a mental condition on its own.
Can gambling lead to depression?
Of course. There's what is called codependent or co-occurring disorders. Of course, gambling can lead to depression. I'll use the example. You earn 50,000. Yeah, and then 45,000 disappears to Aviator. You know Aviator?
Yes,
What happens? How would you pay your bills and you're in Nairobi? And in Nairobi, you're supposed to buy everything. Of course, it will lead you to what? To depression.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, good. I'm trying to understand what is mental health stigma?
Mental health stigma is basically, I mean, you will just allow me to say that it happens because most people don't understand or don't have a lot of information about mental health. Take for example, you start, I'm looking for the simplest term. We are having this conversation now.
Yes,
Ditakus.
yes.
And it reaches a point where, Ditakus, you are having a conversation with me, but you know what you are telling me? At Faith, you know what? I used a tractor today, and then I went to Laikipia, and then I did not put on socks, and then you are jumping from one conversation to another. So other than labeling me, hey, this one is mad. I mean, labeling me mad is one of the stigma. Not just labeling me mad is a stigma. It's better when you say that maybe this person has issues with thinking. Yeah,
yes.
with thoughts. Sawa. But stigma is basically, I'll talk of labeling being one of the stigmas that people go through in mental health. Yes.
Well, let's change gear a bit and let us discuss about mental health at workplace. Take us through workplace mental health issues and how they come about.
Workplace mental health issues and how they come about. It's important for us to know, the Ditakus, that there are people who go to work and they have existing mental health challenges. Yeah, and there are people who get mental challenges in the line of work. Yeah. So when I talk of people having existing mental health issues, take for example, I was diagnosed with maybe a condition and I was diagnosed with, let's say, bipolar.
Okay, that is already an existing.
That is already an existing
mental health at workplace.
But then there is this person who comes to work, and then we give the person too much work, and we don't maybe offer supervision, or we deal with toxic employers.
Yes.
What happens? This person might get depression or what is called work-related stress. So my point is, in workplaces, mental health challenges are there. But again, what are the things to look for now as the employer? How do you know that your employee is going through what? Mental health issues. One, this person was very productive, and from nowhere, production
drops.
That could tell you there is a problem. Yeah, but again, by this can go either way. This person used to come to work at 8 a.m., but from nowhere, by 6 a.m., they are at work. I mean, for an employer, it sounds like, anapenda kazi. But we are looking at the productivity. As far as this person comes to work at 6 a.m., is the person productive? And again, another thing to look for at workplace. Someone who used to be very social and outgoing, from nowhere, isolates themselves. And I prefer to kukaa kwa desk yake. So what happens? What exactly is there? What exactly is the problem? And then another person will come to work. Now, they experience what is called irritability. Mtu anakasirikia tu kitu ndogo. Ama mood swings, anarusha tu tantrums hapa na hapa. And this was someone who was calm. Someone who was very approachable. But from nowhere, this person is very
irritable.
It's very irritable. Yeah. And another thing, it's lunchtime. Yeah. Everyone is supposed to go for lunch. But this person will go to the table and they are not able to feed. That tells you this person has issues probably with their mental health. But allow me to highlight one thing now. You can't use one symptom and say this person has a mental what?
Healthy issue.
A mental health.
There must be
a
couple of things contributing to fundamentally having mental health issues.
Yes, you can't just use
one. So you can't exclusively use one.
Just one day,
behavior.
Imagine one day someone comes to work and that particular day they are not able to feed, and you are like, wow, akona shida ya mental. No, I mean maybe they are full. that particular day. We are looking at patterns. Because remember, mental health, by the way, is not a one-day it's not a one-day event. In Akwanga, we are looking at patterns. It's been 2 days, you've not been feeding well. It's been 2 days, your productivity is low. It's been 2 days and things are, you understand?
No,
so it's not just 1 day and you are like, someone has mental health issue.
Wow. Let's come to treatment now. Because it appears mental health is an issue which is there.
Yes.
And prevalent, especially in the workplace. How, from your clinical psychologist point of view, how do you navigate the process of treatment so that you are able to correct this situation among individuals?
When we talk of treatment, different treatments apply to different mental conditions.
Yes.
As I said earlier, as a psychologist, I do what is called talk therapy myself. I'll be able to use what I've learned or the experience that I've gathered over time to do what? To treat you.
Yes.
That is one type of treatment. Another treatment is what is called now pharmacotherapy. Remember I said initially that
pharmacotherapy.
Basically dawa.
Okay.
Mental conditions ranges from mild to severe. So if it's a severe case that needs the attention of the psychiatrist or another professional, we refer you. So we have the psychologist, we have the psychiatrist, we also have by the way what is called the occupational therapist. Yeah, I know when we talk of occupational therapist, that what comes to our mind is makazi. But when I talk of occupational therapist, you are talking about someone who will be able to help you go back to your daily activities, including the activities of daily living. Kuamka, kutandika kitanda. You know when someone is sick, they really struggle na kutandika kitanda, kukula chakula, sijui kufanya nini. So we have an occupational therapist also who is able to take you through functional skills.
Let us talk about access to services of people like you, clinical psychologists. At what stage should one say now, I feel I need the services of a clinical psychologist?
As soon as you realize that you are struggling.
As soon as you realize that you are struggling with something?
Yes. Because again, if something remains untreated, allow me to use an example of ukona kidonda hapa.
Yes.
If this kidonda remains untreated at young age, what happens? It spreads. It will give you infection. So the sooner you treat it, the better. And you see, it starts with, it's not necessarily that you look for a professional. By the way, sometimes it's about looking for someone you trust. Talking to someone you trust. Telling them, I've been struggling with sleep. I don't know what the problem is.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been struggling with appetite. I don't know what the problem is. So to answer your question, as early as you realize that you are struggling.
You see, when you talk about as soon as you realize you are struggling, and maybe let's take for example, I'm an addict of gambling. Or like you said, I'm an addict of internet. Meaning I fascinate, I feel satisfied while I keep myself busy on the internet way long before the ordinary expected time to be in the internet. Now, I think this is something I keep enjoying doing. As much as you can say this is a mental health issue, I keep enjoying this thing. So when should I realize, at what point should I realize that now I need to go for maybe counseling or...
Didacus, there is something I started this conversation with. I said, there are people who have mental health issues, but they don't know that they are struggling. So sometimes we need another ear to tell you where
you are not doing well with this internet issue.
You are spending too much time on the internet. It is time to eat, but we go kwa internet. It's time to go to work, but you are in the internet. So to answer your questions, we also need another person to tell us there is something that is not adding up, or there is something that is not right with you.
Well, tell me about the space of self-esteem in terms of mental health issues. Self-esteem, how does it contribute to mental health issues?
It can work either way. Mental health issues can lower your self-esteem. And on the other hand, self-esteem can lead to mental health issues like anxiety, like addiction. No, like addiction, by the way.
Tell me more.
There are people who use I don't know if you've ever heard someone say, I have to take a glass for me to be able to talk to a certain person. Have you ever heard?
Yes, I've come across such people.
That communicates something. Why is it that you are not able to talk to them when you are okay?
Si masteam, inaongeza masteam, confidence. Ndio uweze kuongea vizuri.
So what does that tell you? That it is one thing leading to another. Yeah? So a topic of self-esteem it's a topic on its own. Self-esteem is a topic on its own. But again, remember, I've told you, it can work either way. This can lead to this can lead to this.
Okay. Let's deal with one and then go to the other. So you have said, what did you say?
You want to talk to a certain
lack of self-esteem can lead to,
or low self-esteem can lead to anxiety or depression or addiction. Yeah. On the other hand, depression or having anxiety issues because of stigma, it can lead to low self-esteem. I don't know if it makes sense.
It is not making sense yet to me. Maybe you start explaining this way. Self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Maybe we start there.
Self-esteem.
Yes.
You are what?
You are what?
Yes.
You have
the feelings.
You have a contribution to make. You are of value. You feel that way. Yeah?
Yes, you're feeling that way, and not necessarily because you have money. Yeah. Self-esteem is where you place yourself. What is your self-worth?
In the social setup where you are.
Yes, not necessarily social setup. Even how you feel inside. What do you feel about the Dakus? Do you feel that the Dakus is good enough? Or do you feel that the Dakus is the worst person ever? Do you feel that the Dakus is a very boring person? Do you feel that the Dakus is
now, what can make you start feeling that, that's now low self-esteem? I'm not worthy. I'm not giving value. That spirit from inside of you being worthy disappears. What causes this?
You are answering that question yourself. What is depression? Feelings of worthlessness deep down.
That is depression.
Yes. So if you feel worthless deep down, what happens? Self-esteem is affected, of course. I'll give you an example, Didakus, for us to understand. I feel that I'm worthless. That is the feeling deep down. How will I behave around people?
I will behave that I'm worthless.
Actually, if people will be having conversations,
I will not make a contribution.
Why should I make
I'll
a contribution?
I'll keep quiet because I feel I'm
worthless.
Yes.
You understand? I feel I'm a very intelligent person. And there is this conference that I'm able to attend. How will I behave around people?
I will speak intelligently.
Confidently.
I will walk
with a lot
like an intelligent person.
Yes. So that is why I was saying one can always lead to another. Sijui kama tumeelewana sasa.
Tunakaribia kuelewana hapo.
Tunakaribia kuelewana. So turudi kwa ile ya I'm feeling worthless. Turudi hapo.
Turudi hapo, yes. I'm feeling worthless.
I'm feeling worthless.
I can't overvalue.
I can't overvalue. So basically that is low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem.
Yes,
good.
Low self-esteem. Higher. Now, if this low self-esteem or if that feeling is not dealt with, what happens? Utaendelea tu kwenda chini. You'll realize that kwanza You are not able to talk in a conference. But kidogo kidogo now it starts shifting to family. You don't feel like talking to anyone in the family because I'm worthless. There is nothing I can contribute to my family.
My family.
And then of course to workplace and these other areas of life. Yes. Sijui kama tuko karibu sasa.
Tuko karibu lakini mimi ningependa kujua kile kitu ja jipu ni hii. Ni nini hii ambayo inasababisha ukuwe na low self esteem?
Oh, the things that make you have low self esteem.
Yes.
Ni vitu mingi. One of it, of course, we are talking about mental health. Is one of them can be mental health issues.
Yes.
That is one of it. Another thing that can make you that can lower your self esteem is I mean, life. You understand? Expectations versus reality.
Expectations versus reality.
Yes. Expectations is what you expected, but now kuna reality iko hapa. Can I expand on that? Expound.
Eleza saidi. Wow.
Nieleze saidi. When you are 20, when you joined college,
yes,
you had this mentality of
kimaliza mfuko itakuwa imejaa kitu.
Reality inakwambia.
Reality inasema mshahara
down the line. Hauna do. Haujapata.
You have achieved nothing. Maybe when you were a student you were anticipating that I will drive myself in the city. You have not been able to afford the car. Yes. So hiyo inasababisha mambo ya.
Of course it can lead to self-esteem issues. Yeah. Another one, the result is called comparison thinking. You allow me to highlight that.
Yes.
When you talk of comparison thinking, is basically comparing yourself to another person in a negative way. You understand? Hey, wow, we schooled with Jackie, for example.
Yes.
And Jackie is already owns an apartment. Already has this. But do I have it myself?
No.
It can lead to
so you end up lowering your self-esteem.
And another one, which you'll allow me to highlight, is
before you continue, kabla uendelee, ule mtu ako na low self-esteem, tunasema ako na mental health issue. Ama unaweza kuwa na hiyo low self-esteem lakini mental health iko sawa, uko stable.
If it remains untreated, for you to have a mental health issue, inafaa kukua imekuwa affected how you think, how you feel, and how you behave around people. But of course, mental health issue, low self-esteem, it can be addressed. But after having a low self-esteem, it does not necessarily mean that you have a mental issue. And there is this example I've given, number 3. Unakumbuka hii mfano ya number 3 nimesema you're already owning an apartment.
Yes.
Now, Didakus, sometimes self-esteem is not measured with the kind of wealth that you have.
Is the imagination of where you are supposed to be.
So, see ati ukiona mtu already yako hivyo, you automatically assume.
You called it comparison.
Comparison thinking.
Comparison thinking.
Yes.
So you keep comparing yourself to Tom and Jerry, everyone, and you feel you should be like.
And you don't even know what Tom and Jerry are going through.
Yes, and how they have achieved
that. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like it's important for you to appreciate your journey, but that is not supposed to put you probably in comfort zone. But appreciate what you have now, because the moment you appreciate what you have now, it will somehow propel you to get more. You understand? But ukibaki kwa hiyo kukunya hata akona gari nyingine sasa it will make you feel bad on the inside.
And thus it lowers your self-esteem. So that is one contributory factor to having a low self-esteem. Does drinking lead to low self-esteem?
Of course.
Why and how?
When it crosses over to addiction, of course it will lead to low self-esteem.
Okay.
Yeah, when it crosses over to
addiction.
One of these fine days probably we'll have addiction is a conversation.
It's another whole story.
Conversation. Yeah, but when it leads to addiction, of course it becomes low self-esteem. Please allow me to highlight 2. Another one is when you compare, it falls on comparison thinking. looking at Instagram, TikTok, and you see those people have really achieved. So I mean, if you keep scrolling if you keep comparing yourself with the people in the internet, chances of you losing is not very high. Because there is what we want to see on the screen, and there is the reality. You understand?
Yes.
Take for example, you have a very good car, yeah.
Yes.
So ndio nionekane nisasimama nyuma ya gari yako, alafu nipige picha niseme ni God man say.
Ni post part.
So what happens? My friend, okay, maybe someone who is struggling or someone who knows faith, guy, akifia
amefika.
Na maybe ilikuwa gari ya kuombwa, yeah. And then another one, the feedback also can lead to self-esteem, low self-esteem.
How do we treat gambling addiction, mental health issues emanating from gambling? How, you know, there are so many young professionals, young career people listening to you, and I think most people are struggling with gambling issues. How do we treat that?
First things first, acknowledge when it's moving from normal gambling to an addiction. That is the first step. And that requires having a very honest conversation with yourself, not with another person. And the simplest probably way to really get to know that you are crossing over to a gambling addict is assuming you have 100 shillings and you don't have food.
And you spend it in
and you spend it on gambling and not food. What does that tell you? You have a problem. Because food probably is basic. What is it that you are looking for that is telling you not to eat food fast? You gamble fast. Yeah. So, jiite mkutano. Recognize when it's crossing over. And now this is the thing. With these types of addictions, haitakangi mtu mwingine. Inatakanga wewe ujiite mkutano. Am I really crossing over to addiction, or I'm just a normal person, or I'm just a normal gambler?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, a habit takes around 21 days to form. So, if you can't even go a night
without gambling for 21 days, call yourself an addict.
Is that labeling? Is that labeling? Yeah.
Call yourself an addict.
If you can't stop, if a night cannot pass without you gambling.
What is the remedy? People want to hear. Once you find that now you have acknowledged that you are in that problem, what should be the remedy?
Kwanza, if you have acknowledged and you have realized that you are an addict, one, seek help.
Seek help.
Yes. And
come to faith.
Yes, you can come to faith. Yeah. Imagine, what if you are not able to reach faith? I started by saying you can talk to anyone. Take for example, Didakos is my brother. I go to Didakos and I tell Didakos, hey bro, I've realized that every time I have 100,000 or every time I have money, the first thing that comes to mind is gambling. So I want you to be my accountability partner. In this sense, it has worked by the way, Didakos. I'll give you my smartphone because I'm able to bet with my smartphone.
Yes.
Ile time too, when I'll need the smartphone, I'll come to you and you'll allow me to access the smartphone in your presence. I trust you with my weaknesses. You understand?
Yes.
So sometimes if you can't reach faith, you can start with immediate family, the person you trust. Yeah. So take my smartphone because I've realized that every time I have this smartphone, I must gamble. Now, another one could be when it comes to maybe you know that you'll get a monthly salary, but I've realized that every time I hear that I see the, what do we call?
Basically.
The confirmation message that I've received. The first thing that comes to mind is gambling. What do I do? We've told people that sometimes you need to disable the USSD code. You see the USSD code? You can always get money from where you are seated. Sometimes it goes to the extent of disabling the USSD code. Yeah, because trust you me, Didacus, there are a lot of people who are in debt, not because of anything, but because of gambling. Yeah, so if you want to get out of it, it's a sacrifice that you need to make as a person. If you realize that every time I have a smartphone, I must bet, what do? I trust Didacus before going to Faith. Let me trust Didacus with my phone. Yeah, let me disable the USSD code, the mobile banking. Yeah, it reaches an extent where if you have a spouse who understands you, it reaches a point where you will not be allowed to withdraw money. You will need 2 signatories for you to withdraw money. That is if you trust your spouse. Why are we doing that? Because addiction sometimes is about being helpless.
Have you met young people with, in the contemporary discussion in town here in the streets, there is forex trade among young people. What is your take on this? Is it leading to mental health issues? Because I understand people are engaging in forex trade, in people are yearning to fight to get money through forex trade.
It can lead to mental issues, especially if it's not giving you the results that you want. Because remember, you are chasing something. So what happens when you don't get? And that is a very important thing to think about. Before chasing something, ask yourself, what if I am not able to get it? What happens? Will I be in good mental state, or it will affect me mentally?
Now, I will take you back to still, there's something I want us to discuss about mental health. The space, the discussion about mental health in workplace.
Yes.
I think this is the most relevant to our viewers. You know, you told me that someone could have had this while he was young, or he could have got it at workplace.
Yes.
What are some of these things at workplace which lead into mental health issues?
Things in workplace that leads to mental issues. 1, it could be workload.
Workload.
Yes, workload.
Heavy workload, excess pressure, working under pressure.
Yes, working under a lot of pressure. Working with working with a lot of pressure, a lot of workload, demotivation of employees can also lead to mental. And some personalities at work can also make you fall into also have mental issues. Some
fellow workmates,
colleagues, bosses, they can make you, some can really make you go have these mental issues. Yeah. And again, maybe lack of demotivation.
What do you advise? How should people cope? Because these things don't miss at workplace. You can't miss to find maybe a toxic boss, or workmates who are witch hunting, blackmailing, blah blah blah. Kisha na maana ya kutatua hiyo ni gani?
Now,
how do people conduct themselves so that to mitigate on this?
Now, allow me to say something as well. There's a mental illness that gets out at work because of ourselves. Yeah, not necessarily the external forces, but the internal what? Internal forces. Take for example, you go to work. You know that you are supposed to be at your desk working, but kwanza unaenda na story. Unaenda kwanza kuchapa story. What happens in the evening? It's time to go home. Have you done anything? You haven't. So sometimes, if you realize that it is you who needs to plan yourself, please go to work and plan yourself. Yeah. If it means getting to work early, please get to work early. Make sure that your desk is okay, and then you do what? You can do other things. And again, now, if it's external, if it's the bosses, if it's the fellow colleagues, there is someone who once said that go to work do your work, get paid, and go home. Yeah? What I'm trying to say is it's good to also have boundaries.
Sorry to cut you short. Some people say that workplace is one place where people relieve themselves and they get a lot of, a lot of health discussions, and they help them nurture their mental health issues. In other words, if you stop someone from going to work for a week, you will indeed get mental health. Is this opposite of what you are saying?
I was about to say something. That if you realize that your work environment is toxic, is when you can apply what I've talked about. Going to work, doing your work, getting paid and go home. But in that statement, that does not mean that you should not talk with people at work. At workplace, there is, for work to prosper, there is what is called teamwork.
Yes.
You know, you can't just go to work and now say, Faith told me to go to work, do my work, get paid and go home. What happens? Yeah, you need to consult, right? So in workplace, what I was about to say is it's important for you to have boundaries even at work. You understand?
Yes.
Let's have conversation. If you realize that your work environment is toxic, so let's have a conversation around work. If, for example, I have a patient who has this and this condition and I need to consult a psychiatrist, I'll go to the psychiatrist, si kuchapa story, but kuongea about kusaidia vile tutasaidia mgo, kuongea vile tutasaidia mgonjwa. You understand? So sometimes you have to apply, if you realize that your work environment is taking a toll on your mental health, you just have to have boundaries. Again, Didakos, most people go wrong because they don't talk about what they are going through. We tend to...
They don't share.
Yes, you tend to assume that, si bosi pia anafaa kujua vile That is assuming. I mean, people are not mind readers, right? And I mean, there are very good bosses out there. Kuna ile mtu ukienda kumwambia you're going through mental health issue, they are really ready to listen to you. So sometimes it's about not assuming that people know what you are going through. It's you doing what? Talking about what you're going through. Yes.
Stigma. Let us talk about the space, the role of stigma in mental health issues. Stigma, how does it correlate with mental health issues?
If someone is stigmatized, of course they will not seek help when it comes to mental issues, to mental health issues. Yeah? They
will not seek?
They will find it difficult to seek help.
If they are stigmatized?
If they have stigmatized, for example. If you label me as mad and I'm going through stress, will I be able to even tell you what I'm going through the next time?
No, not really.
Yeah. So if someone is stigmatized, it will interfere with the other person seeking help. Yes.
And stigma at workplace. No, how do you see it at workplace setup, environment? How do you see stigma contributing to mental health issues?
How mental health issues contribute to stigma?
It can be either way.
Yes.
It can be either way. Or stigma itself leading into mental health issues.
Stigma on mental health?
Yes.
How does, of course, as I said earlier, if someone is stigmatized about their mental health, yeah, they'll not be able to seek help the next time. So I feel like the same way we normalize these physical conditions, we should also normalize talking about mental health issues. And that will ease the stigma, or that will make it easy for the other person to seek help. Okay? And I also feel like it is important for employers to ensure that, or to ensure that their employees understand matters around mental health. Yeah, because if you realize that someone, I mean, most people don't know it when it's a mental health issue. Utasikia tu from nowhere someone makes a statement like, huyo naye kwani kuachwa inakuanga. I mean, you know,
people
don't really know what this person is going through.
We are just about to go to a short commercial break.
Okay.
And when we go, after we come back from the break, I want us to discuss about suicide.
Okay.
Because in most cases you find that people kill themselves, and people say they were having mental health issues.
Yes.
And maybe we should also shed light and know how should we prevent untimely deaths coming out of the mental health issues.
Okay.
And I've heard you say that it is very hard to diagnose mental health issues. Because what I will actually listen to you is self-diagnosis is very important before you get to, so that you approach the right people to help you navigate the mental health issues. So thank you so much, our viewers, for keeping it here on Medicwise TV. This is your show, Dida the X-Ray Man Show. And in Medicwise TV, we say our aim is to inspire, educate, and inform. Please don't forget to give us a text on the number on your screen. There's a WhatsApp number on your screen through which you can contact us. If you want the contact for the psychologist, you can text us and we'll be able to link you to her. And any suggestions and recommendations, leave your comments there. Above all, remember to subscribe to our YouTube page so that you continue giving us your support as we bring you this kind of discussions. And for now, we want to go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we talk about suicide. Bye-bye.
Welcome to RadMed, your 360 degrees radiology and healthcare partner. Shop for all your radiology needs, from X-ray machines to ultrasound machines. We have it all. At RadMed, we are dedicated to revolutionizing healthcare. We are experts in radiology and healthcare equipments, serving all areas in Kenya. In Calvary Hill Hospital, we delivered installed an X-ray machine with a CR. In Ziwa Hospital, we delivered and installed an X-ray machine with a complete CR. In Mwanzawetu Health Services, we delivered and installed a colour Doppler machine with 2 probes. Brooks and Cherith Hospital, we delivered and installed an X-ray machine with a CR. In Nanyuki Hospital, we delivered and installed an X-ray machine. Esobi Healthcare. Malkia Wings Hospital. Zenit Care Hospital. Nelly Nursing Home. Pro Care Cottage Hospital. Esther, a radiology entrepreneur. Itak Hospital. Peter, a radiology entrepreneur. Mugamo Medical Center. Jabs Medical Center. Welcome to RadMed, your 360 degrees radiology and healthcare partner. Shop for all your radiology needs, from X-ray machines to ultrasound machines. We have it all. At RadMed, we are dedicated to
Welcome back to our discussion. This is Medicwise TV, your haven for healthcare discussions. At Medicwise TV, we aim to educate, inform, and inspire. So we continue with our discussion with our guest, Madam Faith Cheptoo, clinical psychologist, clinical counseling psychologist, working in Peponi Wellness Center. And she's here educating us about mental health issues. So just before we went for that commercial break, we were discussing about suicide. So tell us about suicide and how does it come about that, is the person committing suicide conscious of his actions?
The definition of suicide is intentionally taking.
Intentionally
taking your life due to different reasons. Yeah, the reasons that maybe you would have been assisted if you were able to talk about them. So the definition is intentionally taking your what? Intentionally taking your life due to the reasons that is best known to you. Because at the end of the day, Pia, we don't really know what pushed that person to do what? To commit suicide. As far as they intentionally did it, what really pushed them to take their lives? Yes. So it's important to know that, by the way, there are people who verbalize suicide.
Cut you short. In most instances, people say he took his life because of mental health issues. Can you expound, shed light on this?
I'll say probably that is an assumption.
So then we can imagine it is not intentional, it is because of the mental health issues.
But again, I feel like we are assuming why this person. But in most instances, there are people, by the way, who verbalize suicide. Who say, I want to take my life because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But society inawaambia nini? Enda huku, enda ufanye, enda.
We careless.
I really prefer that when someone comes and tell you, I feel like taking my own life, we see this person as mtu mwenye amefika mwisho. This person verbalizing suicide is telling you, aki nimefika mwisho, nisaidie. In most instances, it's a call for help. Yeah? But what do we do as the society?
We escalate.
Stigmatize again.
We stigmatize those people.
Do you think you are the first one? Hata tumechoka na wewe. But for someone to verbalize suicide, by the way, it takes a lot of courage. For someone to verbalize suicide, it is a call for help, telling you, I want you to help me out. On the other hand, there are people who don't verbalize suicide. Yeah? Utasikia tu, haya, alipatikana kwa nyumba, akiwa amefanya nini?
Amekufa.
So, what we need to look out, what to look out when someone is almost, maybe, or is struggling with suicidal thought without saying it, is one, it can go to the extent of, again, withdrawing from people. Yeah? And another one, to Dakus, is there are people who become overly good when they're almost committing suicide. Why? They believe in sweeping their side of the street before doing it. Yeah? Another one is, some people can even start selling property. Selling property. But for us, we'll say, hey, maybe anauza too. But look at, why is this person doing what? Doing this thing. Yeah? Again, now having depression, having depressive thoughts or feelings. And again, now is maybe lack of appetite, or overeating or undereating, lack of sleep. Watu wengine hata watakuja tu kusema, it could be as simple as, me, I don't even have a plan for my life for tomorrow. So as far as there are those who verbalize, there are those who do it with action. There are those who we should, I don't know if it makes sense, if we should observe the action. What are they doing differently? Yes.
So, there's something I want to hear you say. What leads into suicide?
Different.
Is it low self-esteem? Is it depression? Is it mental health? What leads to people committing suicide?
A lot of things can make people commit suicide. Yeah. One of it could be depression. Because when people are depressed, in most instances, they really struggle with suicide thoughts. So one of it could be mental challenges. When I talk of mental challenges, I'm talking about maybe depression. I'm talking about impulsivity. There are mental conditions that come with a lot of impulsivity. We're also talking about life again. Yeah. The expectations and the reality.
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
And again, I mean, some people can actually commit because of low self-esteem. Yeah. Some people can commit because they seek help and no one was there for them. Some can do it because of stigma. Yeah. Some people do it because they feel unheard. Some people do it because, I mean, people do it for different reasons. And that is why I'll still emphasize on, if someone comes and tells you, I'm struggling with suicidal ideations, what you should do is not dismiss them. What you should do is give them a listening ear. Why is so? Other than just dismissing them.
Sasa, able tuongee kidogo mambo kuhusu services zako wewe mwenyewe kama professional psychologist, counseling psychologist.
Yes.
Kama mtu anahitaji kupata services zako, atakupataje?
Atanipataje? So you'll allow me to give my phone number?
Yeah. Wale wanakusikiza wangependa kujua if they will want to convene and discuss with you mental health issues.
Okay.
Watakupata wapi? Ofisi zako ziko wapi na namba ya simu wape?
Okay. So my phone number is 0743 544 595. 0743 544 595. From Monday to Friday, you'll find me at Peponi Wellness Center, located along Peponi Road, Westlands.
Good. Na maybe wanataka kujua pale mtu akikuja anahitaji service za psychologist kama wewe, malipo yanaendaje? Siku hizi tunaambiwa hakuna kitu for free, na nyinyi madaktari mmekuwa very expensive kwa hizi streets. Love idea of your consultation fee.
I'll say that it will depend whether you are using insurance or cash. So we take insurance and we take cash. We are cheap. We are very cheap, very affordable.
How is cheap is cheap?
When you come to Peponi Road, we do psychological assessment with roughly 2,500.
2,500.
Yes.
So it's not very expensive.
Yeah, it's not
it's
very
affordable.
expensive. Very affordable.
Ni pesa mwananchi wa kawaida anaweza tafuta kuje akuone apate services zako.
And this is what I say. Please allow me to say something on the same. Money should not hinder you from getting mental health services. Because again, I mean, we can always, we believe we are here to save souls. Yeah. So if you don't have money, you can just come, we have a talk. And then we see ni wapi unaweza saidikia. Yeah. So usikae juu unasema gai mimi hata sina pesa. Wewe kuja tutaongea na tutaona vile tutakusaidia. Yes.
Maybe uambie watazamaji your final parting shot. Ungependa kuambia watu namna gani? Which message unawaachia watu for parting shot?
My parting shot would be, mental illness is just like having any other condition. So we should always normalize talking about mental health. Let's try our best to get rid of stigma, and let's try our best to be the best. Let's try our best to be listeners. Yeah. Every time someone comes to you, be ready to offer them that listening ear. And above all, let's champion to always save souls, especially people struggling with mental health.
Thank you so much, Madam Faith Cheptoo. We don't take it for granted for you to attend and for your time to come to this show. Gracing this show is a privilege to us, something we don't take for granted. We hope to organize and have you next other time so that maybe we can now extensively discuss about addiction.
Yes.
Because you said addiction is a whole big thing which we need to take it on its own.
Yes.
So we appreciate. Usually we give our guests a gift of this book.
Thank you.
This is a book called Medicwise Chronicles. It's an inspirational book written by me, Didakus Mochache, the author of this book. We find it a privilege to award you
Thank you.
and gift you this book
Asante.
for making it to our studios
Asante.
and gracing this occasion.
Asante.
For our viewers, we appreciate you and we want to say bye-bye. Hope to see you in the next show. Dida the X-Ray Man Show, Medicwise TV. Subscribe to our YouTube page and we shall be here for you and for such kind of aggressive and generous discussions. Thank you so much
Thank you so much.
for making it to our studio.
Welcome to RadMed, your 360 degrees radiology and healthcare partner. Shop for all your radiology needs, from X-ray machines to ultrasound machines, we have it all. At RadMed, we are dedicated to revolutionizing healthcare. We are experts in radiology and healthcare equipments, serving all areas in Kenya. In Calvary Hill Hospital, we delivered installed an X-ray machine with a CR. In Ziwa Hospital, we delivered and installed an X-ray machine with a complete CR. In Mowanzuetu Health Services, we delivered and installed a colour Doppler machine with 2 probes. Brooks and Cherith Hospital, we delivered and installed an X-ray machine with a CR. In Nanyuki Hospital, we delivered and installed an X-ray machine. Esobi Healthcare. Malkia Wings Hospital. Zenit Care Hospital. Nelly Nursing Home. Pro Care Cottage Hospital. Esther, a radiology entrepreneur. Itak Hospital. Peter, a radiology entrepreneur. Mugamo Medical Center. Jabs Medical Center. Welcome to RadMed, your 360 degrees radiology and healthcare partner. Shop for all your radiology needs, from X-ray machines to ultrasound machines, we have it all. At RadMed, we are dedicated to revolutionizing healthcare. We are experts in radiology and healthcare equipments, serving all areas in Kenya. In Calvary Hill Hospital, we delivered installed an X-ray machine with a CR. In Ziwa Hospital, we delivered and installed an X-ray machine with a complete CR. In Mowanzuetu Health Services, we delivered and installed a colour Doppler machine with 2 probes. Brooks and Cherith Hospital, we delivered and installed an X-ray machine with a CR. In Nanyuki Hospital, we delivered and installed an X-ray machine. Esobi Healthcare. Malkia Wings Hospital. Zenit Care Hospital. Nellie Nursing Home, Pro Care Cottage Hospital, Esther, a radiology entrepreneur, Itak Hospital, Peter, a radiology entrepreneur, Mugamo Medical Centre, Jabs Medical Centre. Welcome to RadMed, your 360 degrees radiology and healthcare partner. Shop for all your radiology needs, from X-ray machines to ultrasound machines, we have it all. At RadMed, we are dedicated to revolutionising healthcare. We are experts in radiology and healthcare equipments, serving all areas in Kenya. In Calvary Hill Hospital, we delivered installed an X-ray machine with a CR. In